How Far, where people tell us about life in the diaspora. Our guest today is a techie, an immigrant, someone that's finessing adulting, a fitness enthusiast, a globetrotter. I like how you just nodded. There was no there was no hesitation about that one. Just accepted it.
Can't lie about that one. I
You
feel like
can't lie about
everybody.
that one. Yeah, because I mean, every time we look on the internet and we find somebody's stories, we see it starts with, "Where would my feet take me today?" I'm not wrong about that.
No. I mean, I'm always trying to find where my feet are going to take me.
Okay. I want to be like you anyway. And that's what I think it will form the basis of my questions today, because I want to know how to be like you.
I want to be like me too.
I was scrolling through LinkedIn one day and I came across one profile, a very eccentric one at that. Like, the profile picture caught my attention because I was like, I've never seen anybody's profile picture that's like this, especially for people in the diaspora. Like, this picture, the person had like braids or twists, I don't remember, but beads with a bow hat, and it was like sleeveless shirt. And I was like, how? Where everybody's struggling to put like suits and tie and have like clear background. This person is at the beach. This person is at the beach, and when someone it's like a random. There was I don't know if there was any intention with that picture, but if anybody, I don't know. Have you been on LinkedIn in a while?
I'm on LinkedIn pretty often, actually.
You're there pretty often.
Yeah.
You're always there.
Not always, but I'm there pretty often. Like, I open the app like once every ever so often. And people still see my profile. People still try to connect, but I mean, I feel like the picture it's part of. I don't take life too seriously. I really don't. I feel like I'm very laid back. I'm serious about the things that I want to be serious about, but overall, like, it's not that deep. I say that sentence a lot. It's not that deep because most things aren't. And I feel like things are only as deep as you make them. So something like LinkedIn, people like to put their best foot forward, for lack of a better term. I feel like it's just, honestly, I'm chilling. Chilling. Like, it's, when I want to focus, I focus. But like, it's not that deep to start putting professional headshot on top LinkedIn. Like, it's, for most people, those things are not even a clear depiction of who they are. That is who I am. What you see is what you get. But yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, but I think I should try that too. But then
results may vary.
It will vary.
Results may vary.
It will vary for many reasons. How many countries have you been to?
I've actually not counted.
Okay, so how many have you lived in?
I've lived in just two.
Two.
Yeah, just Nigeria and Canada.
So been to what? Give me a ballpark.
Been to, I'll say, like 10ish.
10ish.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you go last?
Most recently, I went to Japan.
How was that?
It was amazing. I think that was that's one of the ones that I wanted to go to for a while. So that one was amazing. It was amazing. I really liked it.
How long did you spend there?
About 10 days.
That's pretty short. And
I'm going to go back.
Straightforward.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back.
For a longer time?
Maybe not for a long time, probably about the same amount of time, but then to do other things. Like, because there were things I wanted to do, but couldn't really get the chance to do them because, like, itinerary-wise, there were some things I wanted to just, like, hit. Mm-hmm. I went to 3 different cities, but next time I want to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? I wanted to be more, like, targeted for, like, some of the anime stuff I want to do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of anime, what character is this?
This is not a character. This one is me. I'm not trying to.
It's not similar to any character.
None that I can think of off the top of my head, actually. No, this one is me. That's what it is with me.
Okay.
I'm sure there's some that like have different, but like off the top of my head, there's no like popular enough one that has. No,
Okay. Did you choose to move to this country?
not really.
Choice was made for you.
Pretty much, like my siblings followed this path, and then it was just they just I knew it was just coming from me. Like it wasn't up to me at all.
Did you come from high school to here?
I
Or-
finished SS3 before I moved here.
So you finished SS3, and then did you do any? Was there any bridge in between? Or you
Kind
went
of, yeah.
straight
It
to
was
university.
no, it was kind of the same thing that people do in like colleges, but my parents found a way to make me just do it in like a high school here, like grade 12 in a high school here. But yeah, yeah. It was the curriculum was. I mean, we all know what we faced in Nigeria. So I was sleeping in class and I was still doing well. So
Here.
yeah, yeah. So I didn't. It wasn't taxing at all.
Do you remember what it was like when you landed here?
I mean, I used to come here because I have uncles here, so like I used to
Okay.
come here on a yearly basis.
Oh, you come before you moved. Okay, you
I used to
a
come
few
here like for
times, okay.
summer every year, so I knew what I was kind of getting into. Living was definitely different from vacationing, that's for sure. So there were still some things that were like slight differences. Like
Like
I was never here for winter, for example. Like I was always here
Okay.
in the summertime.
okay.
So the first winter was definitely like eye-opening because I think everybody has experienced it. You hear
When
about
did you come? Like, did you come during summer and then stay?
yes, I
Right,
came
okay.
in July of
Oh, yeah.
2010.
You saw 31 degrees. You're like, okay, not bad.
Because and that's the thing about Canada, like it's very deceitful because the summers are very hot and then the winters are very cold. Because most people in other countries, they just associate Canada with cold.
Yeah.
So they don't, when we tell them that the summers are hot, they don't believe us. One time I had to take a screenshot of like the weather app of like Canada temperature and Lagos temperature. And that day, I think Canada was hotter than Lagos. Because they don't believe when we say that Canada can be hot. But yeah, so I was here during the summertime and then I slowly watched the first transition into winter and I saw snow on the ground. And obviously, like the first time you see snow, you're kind of excited because it's like, oh, this is the thing that we always see on TV.
Yes.
And then the first time, everybody has their first experience with negative temperature where they're like, God, why did this send me to this country? And I will never forget, my mind it was a very welcome to Canada moment. I was walking to the bus stop and I had heard about black ice, but I'd never seen it before. Or I'd never experienced it before. I was walking to the bus stop, I was going to school. I slipped and fell on the ice. I went back home. Classes were cancelled that day. I said I'm not doing it again. I slipped and I fell with my whole bag and everything. And I'm heavy. So I hit the ground hard. I said, okay, I'm not going to class today. I went back, I went to go and lie down.
Was this in high school
This was,
or uni?
no, this was grade 12. This was going to grade,
Okay,
no,
so high
yeah,
school.
yeah. Because we used to catch bus. So I'm not doing, like, it's not that deep, please. Like, it's not as if my grades will slip anyway. So
My grades won't sleep. Wow.
I went back and I said, I'm not doing. But yeah, and then it was similarly in university too. Like, I used to walk 15 minutes to the bus stop. And it was one of those, like February has those like 3 days where the temperature is minus 40. And it was one of those days I was waiting at the bus stop. The bus was late. I couldn't feel my ears or my fingers. So I said, okay. I called the cab, and that time I didn't have money. So I called the cab. By the time I got home, I asked my uncle that there's somebody waiting us. Can you please spare him $15 because I was not going to wait for the bus. But yeah, no, it's there is definitely like a big shift in like the mentality
The
between
weather
the
was
two places.
like the biggest. How about people?
People were very, I think, because we lived in a country where everyone was black, there was really nothing to, sure, there was tribalism, but like, I think the difference in like races is a whole different ballpark. And I had people that I used to like, they were I guess they were my friends on some level, but like they were not Nigerian, they were white and like Asian, and they would make jokes that in hindsight were racist, but then I just used to laugh along with them because obviously I thought they were playing and I was playing too. But then in hindsight, I was like, some of these things that these people were saying were actually like very, very, very racist. Like they would make comments about like the poverty or the third world country and like how we survived and whatnot. And I would laugh at them too because again, like there was no nuance. I was fresh into the country, so I just thought everybody meant well and like these were just like friendly people. But there are things that if someone would say to me now, they would know not to say to me now because. But yeah. The people and I mean, I've had a lot of experiences with like Canadians. Up on like I have new ones every month, and it's like I tell my friends about them when they happen. Like some of the things that people have the gall to say to me sometimes. I'm like, maybe I look too friendly because
Probably.
I'm like, how are you having the confidence to say these things to somebody you don't know? But it's the. I mean, I've met people here that are very good people. Like I've made friends and whatnot, but I'm also fairly introverted, so I'm not in spaces where like, except for work and like places where I go to, but I'm not in spaces where I'm like consistently meeting people. So I guess I avoid that because I don't like. I feel like everybody that knows me knows I don't like people. Like
Whoa.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
Summary.
I'm not a people person. Like I'm friendly to people. Like I can be friendly, like but like I don't. And everybody says it the first time they meet me. I don't give off a.
Not the biggest people person.
I don't give off a come and be my friend vibe.
Well. So how did when you came to school, like you came to high school first, did you pick what you wanted to study by yourself or?
I think like the grade 12 I did stuff. It wasn't really. I got into university from my WAEC result, so like it was a buffer year because my parents didn't want me to start university at 15.
Right. Okay.
So they just wanted me to be doing something for the year.
That's why you went to school.
Yeah, and the courses were things that were in line with what I wanted to do. So like things that every science related person would do, like the chemistry, physics, biology, the different
So
maths.
you already picked what you wanted to study before you left Nigeria,
University, yes.
and you applied already. You did all that.
Yeah. So I applied to multiple schools, like for different engineering programs across different like computer related programs across, and even though like the school I was going was already again chosen for me because it was where my siblings went, but like I just applied to random schools because I wanted to delude myself into thinking I had choice. But like even though I got into all the schools that I applied to, well, I went to the one that my siblings were in because I'm the last born and my other siblings are there, so
Right.
why are they sending me to a different city, to a different school?
So did your parents come here with you guys as well, or?
No, so we all came one by one. So like after
Okay.
secondary school, like my older sister came, then after secondary school, my older brother came, and after secondary school, I came, and then a couple of years later, then my mom came here to join us because all of us were here. But
Okay.
yeah.
Was the plan to stay fully?
Like live here after the
Yes.
fact.
Yeah. After uni.
I don't know that there was a plan. I feel like
Because like all of you came, then your mom came. So was
I
there
think-
already a plan? Like, oh, I'm just
at
gonna
the
send all my
time,
kids there first.
at the time, no. But then when we were leaving Nigeria, there was still the illusion that Nigeria could be better. Because when we leaving Nigeria, it was in 2010. So a lot of us still believed that maybe there was a Nigeria we could come back to make better. As the time went on, I feel like there was it happened slower for some people. Exactly. It happened slower for some people than others, but progressive progressive started to realize that it's better. More people want to come out than go, because we all had those people in our classes in secondary school that said, "Oh, I'm going to go abroad to do university so I can come back and fix Nigeria." All those like bleeding hearts. There was one of them in my set in secondary school. He recently moved to. He said he was going to be the president of Nigeria. Like that was his thing. He recently moved to Canada last year, and we call him last card because he was the one that if he's going, that means there's actually no.
No.
That means. So yeah, I mean, then there was no, because now people leaving Nigeria, they all see that they are leaving for good to find a better life here, but then no one really said that because, again, there was
They
still
could
the
still
illusion
come back.
that
Right.
there's a chance that there's a Nigeria you could come back to use your skills to make better.
Right.
But no. So it wasn't. There was nothing concrete, but it was still open. But now, obviously, there's no way. I've been to that country twice in the last 15 years, so.
how did you guys get settled into living, especially when your mom came?
Hmm.
Were you living in school?
Oh no, we never lived in school actually,
So you always went back home.
because my uncle lived here.
Okay.
So we lived with my uncle for the first bit before my mom moved here, and then she bought a house and whatnot.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we lived with my uncle. So it was interesting. It was interesting.
So
That
how was
came
it
with
like living with?
Sorry?
Because you had been away from your mom for a bit, and then she came. What was that like?
Honestly, not very. We went to boarding school, so I think they desensitized us from missing parents. Very, like, we went 6 years living away from them, so it's like they trained us not to rely on them, at least emotionally. So when I was living with my uncle, it didn't really feel that different. When my mom came, again, it didn't. There was not much shift. I just went from living. I mean, it's more comfortable living with the parents than living with like. I don't like. There's always
Like
this,
another relative. Okay.
especially when that relative has kids. There's always this like. Obviously, most people who have lived with uncles, they know it's the uncles or aunts think they're not doing it, but there's always this preferential treatment that their own kids get, and then there's always this like additional strictness that they have that they don't have for their kids, but they swear they do. So it was very evident, and as with most Nigerian adults, the best relationships are long distance relationships. So that uncle that I lived with, we didn't get along when I lived with him, but like now we're like best friends. Like I tell him more things than I tell my mom. Like I'm very close to him. So it's the same thing. Like
Where is this uncle from? What side is your mom's side?
he's my mom's older brother.
Okay.
Yeah, he's my mom's older brother, and he's actually very chill when you're not when he doesn't have to be strict. Like he's very chill. He's very funny when he doesn't have to be strict. So it's the same, and the same thing. Like most people have better relationships with their parents when they move out of their houses, and again the strictness isn't there. Although it's different with parents because parents have this. They have this thing where they still want to control your life from afar, and
A remote.
exactly, and I feel like you have to give them a few jolts to like let them know that this is your life and not theirs. Like you have to give them one or two to wake them up that look, you can't, because if not, and the thing is, the later you give them those jolts, the harder it is for them to actually, the harder their reaction to it, because they will call it disrespect, they will call it whatever they want to call it, but they have to realize that it's your life and not theirs. So I think that's one of the things that I had to, especially because I'm a last born. So they almost, and I'm very like aloof person. Like I'm not very, like I'm not like a mommy's boy, for lack of a better term. So I was already very like, not distant, but like we weren't guys like that. But so when you have that kind of dynamic, but they still try to like micromanage things about your life, sometimes I'm just like, you have to calibrate, because I'm sorry, but you have to calibrate. I'm not going to pretend like this is something that can fly. And I like doing my own thing. Like I do my own thing on my own time. Even with the traveling thing, a big back and forth I have with my mom is that she complains that I never tell her when I'm going to travel. Like sometimes I remember when I'm on the trip and I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm in this country. And the annoying thing is that because there are lots of people in my mom's church in Ottawa that also have me on social media.
Oh no! So they report.
It's not even reporting because they don't even think they're doing something. It's like, oh, I saw Corday here. He's enjoying himself.
It's reporting.
I don't know, like he's where? Because obviously my siblings know. And it's not even my siblings. It's not as if I tell them beforehand. They just see my stories and they're like, oh, where are you going this time? And but obviously, like for a parent, when she sees that disrespect, she's like, oh, you don't want me to know. And I'm like, no, I just don't think to tell you. These are two very different things. Like it's not as if I'm on the trip and like, oh, my mom must not know. No, it's not like a checkbox. I say, oh, tell this person, tell that person. Like, unfortunately, again, back to the boarding school thing. Like they've instilled in us this lack of like closeness from like just not needing to be, because like obviously we all grew up wanting to like need our parents, but like boarding school kind of it takes that away very easy. So like, and for some people because I've seen people with like great relationships with their parents and good on them, but like not to their minds, but what it's just not that like what they think it should be, and it's like it's of their own creation. So it's so it's just one of those things where like I yeah it's living by myself is definitely, and like living in afar, it's definitely something that has they thought I couldn't do it because they thought that because again I'm the last one,
Yeah, the
so
last one. So
they have
you
this
have that attachment.
they have this like illusion that I won't be
You're
able to,
closest.
and it was very seamless. Like
It's just seamless.
it was very seamless. Like I moved here, well, after I moved, because it was the first when I moved to Waterloo in 2019. I was like 24. And after I moved, like my mom was calling me weekly, because again maybe she believed that she needed to check on me. And at some point I stopped picking up, and then she'll calibrate because this is not something that can happen.
Is she the last in her own?
No, she's the second of like 10 children.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's maybe she just expected,
She just. Yeah, no.
but we managed to make it work. Now we talk like once a month or something, which is fine. And sometimes I go to Ottawa to visit. But the thing is, when we talk, she's always the one that calls, and then when she calls, she's like, "Oh, you never think to call me," and I'm like, "I'll do better."
Oh, please do better.
Yeah.
Please do better. When you, I was gonna ask, what's the biggest decision you had to make? Like, because I know you said you got your independence you got it quite early, at least to your own understanding. So, like, what was one big decision that you're like, okay, this one is going to be me, you pushing to influence it?
I think the decision to move, actually,
Move from,
like from Ottawa, like to move to,
okay, when you were living with her, okay.
because I mean, to be fair, it was something that they were relatively in support of anyway, because I was moving to work at like one of the biggest companies in the world. So it was almost a no-brainer, but it was still something that at the back of my mom's mind, she was still saying that, oh, that isn't there something closer that
Did you apply to that job deliberately?
if you know the places I applied to, when I realized I was ready to start working for like those companies, I applied to first of all, I applied to right out of university, like immediately after, when I was like 20, and I got it then, but it was in the US, and I was going to go, but there was a whole, I think because I was applying from Canada, and I think someone dropped the ball somewhere without asking me what my actual nationality was, because they assumed
Right,
maybe I
okay.
said I was a Canadian, or maybe it's like somebody because I think they asked me like my country of residence. Maybe I said Canada, but maybe somebody mistook it to mean like my nationality. So it was after everything was done. I was supposed to work in California, and then I asked, "Oh, so what's the visa process like?" And they're like, "Oh, for Canadians, they just have to get this TN or whatever the key is that Canadians need to work in the US." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm not Canadian." And then they were like, "Oh, that's so. What is your nationality?" I said, "Oh, I'm Nigerian. I'm just in Canada on like a work
permit. Okay.
Like, "Oh, so you would need an H1B," and the H1B thing is very complicated. They have to sponsor you, and they're like, "Oh, that they will have to get back to me." And then they got back to me. They're like, "Oh, we've gone over they have a quota for how many H1Bs they can sponsor per year," and they said they've gone over that quota, and I think they've even like the quota for the next year doesn't apply to that interview. So unfortunately, they are going to, because I'm not going to lie to you, I think that's the one that would have had more pushback if at 20, right out of university, I had gotten a job in the US. That is the one that would have really shaken. That would have caused fight. So maybe God knew what he was doing at that point when. So I ended up working in Ottawa for like 3 years after that. I found like a couple of different companies I worked at in Ottawa. And then the recruiters reached back out to me. But when they reached out to me, they said there's an office in Waterloo in case I'm interested in going through the process again. And at that time, I was still applying I applied to Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Bloomberg, all in the States, some fintech companies in New York. And I got all of them. But in the back of my mind, I knew I wasn't, if there is an option in Canada, outside of the fact that I don't like stress. Like
You
I
prefer
didn't.
it?
It was much. I'm not packing my bags to move to the because at that time I was a PR if I remember correctly. So I still wasn't a citizen. So I still needed H1B. Like I was a PR, but I wasn't a citizen. So I still needed H1B. So it still seemed like work to like move to the US at the time. It was good for my ego to know that I was capable of like getting all
Right.
those. But at the end of the day, once there was a Canadian option that was still like a big enough company, I was like, I'm still
If
going
not,
to,
why
I'm,
not?
I'm going to. But I was able to use like the other ones as like leverage when negotiating. Although like US salaries and Canadian salaries are like two different ballparks. So it was like apple
It's a vast
storages.
difference.
So at some point the recruiter had to ask it because when I was trying to use like the US salaries to like trying to offset the Canadian
Yeah.
one. Some of the recruiter had to ask the recruiter had to ask me directly, like, do you want this job? Because if you want the other one, because she was like, there's no way
It's
that we're
like
going
you go
to hire you in
apply.
Canada and you're going to use this thing to like, let's like, so she basically was like, if you want the other ones, if it's like a money thing and you want the other ones, you can go and take them, but this is the best that we can. But yes, I think the biggest decision was still moving at 24, which
Yeah.
honestly is old enough to. But anyways, like I think being on my own kind of, especially because like both my siblings were literally living.
Oh, so you were the only one living with her at that time. They had
Oh no
left.
no 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 no! I said that both my siblings
They were still with her.
they were still here.
Oh,
So at
okay.
that time, all three of us were still living with my mom. So if the last one, granted, my sister was about to get married like literally 6 months after that and move out. So that was already about to happen. But regardless, I was the first one. I was about to be the first one to leave. And even if my sister gets married, she was still going to live like within the same city, like probably like five. They all live 5 minutes from each other. My
Oh,
mom, my brother, and my sister, with like their married partners, they all live 5 minutes from each other,
so you're the
and
alien.
I'm 5 hours away. So even if they didn't even know that was going to happen, but at that time it was just like a culture shock for her, for me to move like 5 hours away as her last born. So she was like, it's a great company and all that, and it's a good opportunity, but like, she was like, is there anything closer that has like a similar kind of?
God.
And I'm like, I'm taking. It's not a matter of boya not. I'm taking this thing and I'm going.
So
But
what's
yeah,
the? I know people. You talked about applying to all these different places. What are you using?
to apply
Yeah, what are you using?
at that
Because you're
time.
getting all of them. So
At
what are
that
you
at that
doing?
time at that time the because this was in 2015, so like the whole tech field was growing at that time, but it wasn't as saturated as it is now.
Okay.
So if you have at that time, if you had the right, because that was when like the buzzwords on the resumes were still working. Now everybody knows them, so it's on every resume. So there's no. But then like once you put like the keywords like data structures and algorithms, you put the right languages, you put the right like things, and you put like the right grades in the right courses, like you were not guaranteed, but like there's a high chance. Plus, one thing that I realized that the recruiters like, I won a couple of coding competitions, and they like seeing those kind of things too. So
Okay.
once they saw those, like I'll usually get an interview, and I, at the time at least, it's been 7 years since then. Now, at the time, I interviewed very well. At the time, like I was always because I used to help my friends practice for interviews. So when you help people, when you're teaching people, you're also like
You're getting better.
subtly sharpening
Yeah.
your skills too. So I was constantly in that skill. A lot of my friends were also like interviewing for similar roles at the time. So we would always like have
Practice.
these like hubs where like for 3-4 hours and like twice a week we'll just like get a whiteboard and we'll just like solve questions. So like we were all like in that space mentally. So it got to a point where like because I had the interviews for all those companies within the space of like 2 months. So it was I would be telling my manager, oh, I have doctor's appointments, oh, I'm going on it because I didn't take a lot of vacation then, so I had a lot saved up. So I'll say, oh, I have a doctor's appointment, I have this to do, and I was going on interviews. And a lot of these interviews, like most of them were like the on-site ones were not local, like they would like
They're
fly me to
outside flying.
like the Waterloo one, I had to come here. The ones in the US, they had to fly me there
Fly.
for the interviews. So I was enjoying the trips on their dime. I'm not going to lie, but like it was still like
It was still work.
it was a taxing process. But like in terms of like the actual interviews, the because of how much I prepared, and they started to like all blend together in terms of like the questions were similar. Because when you're constantly doing it, your brain is always like ready for it. So it was like it was it felt repetitive. Like some questions, I think some of them even like almost
They're copying each
repeated.
other.
Yeah, yeah. So like I was like, I saw this last week. So it felt, and I think if there was more space between them, maybe I wouldn't have
You'd have forgotten
gotten
some
all
things.
exactly, because like I was already like in that space mentally. I was just like, said, let me just get through. Let me do this now. I know that. And then when I was done everything, all of them were coming back with positive, and I was like, oh wow. So I was like, I worked hard for it. So I'm not going to like. It's not something, and I thank God that I was able to like actually have the time to do those things. But like, it's not. It's not something you can walk into. It's not something you can fall into. Because like I have a lot of bright friends who think they can just like walk into these interviews without prep, and it's like no one gets it if you don't prepare or know what you're preparing for. No one gets it the first time. Like literally, it's something you actually have to prepare for. It's not something you can just use residual knowledge to walk into. So like when you actually prepare for it, that's when you actually like it's it's literally night and day. So, but it's yeah, it's just a process, and I feel like
So now, do recruiters still reach out to you?
I mean, yeah, because on when they see specific companies on your LinkedIn, they will just
They
like
just try.
just cold call and whatnot. But I'm not.
I'm not about to join people.
I don't want to interview because it seemed fun back then when I was in that space. But now, when I think back to that period, I don't want to be there again. I don't want to be there again. It wasn't like just having people, because then it felt when I knew what I was doing, like when felt like going to these places to show off how much. Now it feels like I was auditioning, and I'm sorry, but
That's a van.
it's-
Okay. Let's talk about. Or let me ask you this first. What was your biggest adult purchase so far?
big in terms of.
Amount.
I mean, I own a house in Ottawa, so I think that's the most expensive thing I've bought. But in terms of like actual, because I think the down payment I put on the car I just got is more than the down payment I put on my house that I own in Ottawa. So I think in terms of like actual money that physically came out of my account, my car is the most expensive one. But like in terms of like the cost of
But now, when you bought the house, how long ago?
2021. No. I bought the house in 20.
So
I
if
bought
we're
the house
putting
in.
value of money then and now,
I guess. Because I got the house in. No, I bought it in 2019, but it was a new build, so it
Right.
closed in 2021,
okay,
and that was when like there was a huge boom. So like
yeah, a lot
Even-
of house and stuff. Yeah.
the value of the house between when I bought it and when it closed had already like significantly appreciated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like even before like paying a cent in mortgage, like I'd already gained like maybe 30% in equity on the value of the house. So it was a lucky time because after I closed, in my head I was like, why didn't I buy two? But I didn't. But I didn't know. I didn't know that no one. It was an
You know how
unprecedented
much- what would
time.
happen,
No one knew
yeah.
COVID was going to happen. No one knew like all that. It was an unprecedented time. So, but yeah, I think. So I think that's those two. Depending on how you look at it, it's those two things. Like I don't think I've bought anything. I mean, I guess those are pretty crazy things. But I don't think.
Did you did you plan to buy a house at that time, or was it just, well, everyone is buying a house, let me get mine too?
It was a mix of things.
Because you're saying you bought it. Did you buy it before you moved here?
No, I bought it in Ottawa to rent there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I bought it in Ottawa to rent there. So
Right. Were you here already?
I was here already.
Okay,
Because I moved in January of 2019 and I bought it in October or December of 2019. So I bought it there to rent there because there was like they were having, at that time they were always doing like new build projects. At that time they were still trying to grow now they've slowed down, but like then they were still trying to like build a lot of houses. So there were lots of like projects saying that, oh, sign up here and do this and do this. So like I signed up, I like put the down payment for like the house, and then again it was cheaper then, like the down payments were cheaper then because houses in general were cheaper then.
Yeah.
So like I was able to just like I said I have the money, and
Might as
Why
well
not?
do
Why
it.
not? Like it's and they are saying that this thing. I was young, and everybody was saying that this thing is a good investment. So, if I can, like, might as well get this out of the way now. And I mean, thank God it paid off. It paid
Worked
off
out.
more than I thought it would. So yeah, it was in hindsight it was a good decision.
Okay, let me ask about hard stuff. How's dating in diaspora like?
Mm, it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, I feel like I've been I hear a lot of horror stories. It's like I feel like I've been lucky in that I have not. I guess depending on how they went is not really like regardless of how they went or ended up. I feel like I've been able to always pick good people. So I don't, because I everybody has heard horror stories. We've heard
Yeah.
like but I feel I've never like really experienced some of the more terrible things firsthand. So like I think I'm thankful for that. Like I think I've been
Lucky in that area.
yeah. I don't want to say I don't know. Say I mean let me just say I thank God because I don't want to say that I'm a good judge of character. I don't think it's that deep. I just want to thank God like they've not sent anybody. They've not sent anybody for me. But like yeah, I think overall it's definitely, especially because like I said, I'm fairly introverted, so like I'm not really in spaces where I meet a lot of people. So like it's it's just like luck of the draw, really. Like people that like cross my path, things just like if things get the thing just manage to like I guess work out. But like I also I'm not like I've never been like a I don't know what word to use. I won't say womanizer, but I don't think that's the word. But
A
like
magnet.
Oh, portraying them like going after
Or
So-
you going after them or them coming after you? Which one is it?
both.
I don't want to answer that question because there's an answer. There's an answer because magnet is definitely not the right word. Because in terms of being a magnet, well, we thank God, but but like
Some of us are experiencing firsthand.
exactly that's because every a lot of like mutuals that we have seen it happen in real. I've seen it happen in real life. So I can't even, I'm not. I don't want to like. I can lie. I can be modest, but like. But
It
like
does occur.
I'm very shy. Like I'm very shy. I feel like again most people who have met me like for the first few weeks I'm very shy. Like I don't. So I
It takes a while to interact.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's not like second nature to me to just be like a bubbly person. So like because of that I tend to like keep to myself for the most part. And then but I think because of that, the people that I do get to know I really like the
So
people I
do
do
you-
let in I really get to know them at that point and then
So is it correct to say you not actively try to date?
yeah, I never really there was never really a point where I'm like I'm going to start like I never really had that
It just happens.
yeah,
if-
it just always
it
just
just
happens.
gets there if it gets
Yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so do you find it easier to connect with people that maybe are similar? They have your experience, like similar journeys, like they moved here to, or people that have been here their entire lives.
Oh, infinitely people that moved from Nigeria. Like I feel like there are a lot of cultural things that people from Nigeria just understand better. You even have like better banter. You have like more similarities, more shared experiences, more things to like bond over. And granted, there is a threshold. I would say like I think there is a sweet spot in terms of like how because the the level of indoctrination Nigeria has on people is a double-edged sword in terms of how they think. So there are some things that, like the shared experiences and what's not, the value of respect and things like that.
Yeah.
That is very, very, very valuable. But there is a backwards way of thinking, for lack of a better term, that some people who stay there longer kind of have. and it shows itself in like their decorum, their misogyny, their how they are in public, how
Their perspectives.
exactly how they think about specific things, how their audacity. And audacity can be a positive thing. It's good in spaces where you feel like you have to advocate for yourself, but I think there's a threshold where it becomes borderline rude, and I think either they don't have a threshold, they don't know where that
They
threshold
don't know when
is.
they've crossed it.
Exactly. Or maybe it's just a lot higher, because I guess in Nigeria there's a lot more of like hustle culture. So I feel like when you're there for long enough, it kind of becomes part and parcel with who you are. And then some of them come here with that same energy, and sometimes you have to like, it's not that deep. Like
Relax.
you don't have to be as loud. You don't have to be as aggressive about it. Like it's there. You can take it. Like nobody is fighting with you.
So, you've had a couple of relationships, and you said you said something about keeping to yourself a lot, and you're being introverted. So you're not actively pursuing people. So when it comes to the conversation about dating with these people that you meet, who initiates it?
I think it just naturally gets to that point. I think it's mutual for the most part. I think in terms of the initiation, I think it grows to a point where like we just believe that we're there, and then maybe like the prolonged conversations just like get there. I don't think it's like there's no initiation. I think when you talk to someone enough, I feel like you know when they like you and whatnot. So I think at that point it's like,
So you've never been wrong, is what I'm saying. What I'm asking.
I mean, if
You never assumed that you were there.
if the person makes it clear, then you can. There's no room for assumption, if that makes sense. So it's not like I don't. I try. If anything, like I do the opposite. Like I try not to guess. I try not to. Like I try not to assume someone is interested
Yeah.
if they haven't made explicitly clear, because it's more embarrassing if you're wrong. And honestly, like I don't think my ego is there. I don't have interactions believing that people are interested in me. I like to believe that people can have like peer interactions outside of that. So
Right.
plus life is easier that way. Like I have friends who automatically think everybody is chasing them, and it doesn't seem like, even when they are wrong, it just doesn't seem like the type of life to live. It's like, oh, that one is pursuing me, so let's go. I'm like, what if they are not? So it's better to like at least feign being oblivious, so that if you feign it, like if there is intention, they are forced to make it more clear. So
Right. So you've had breakups in between. How did these breakups change you, or what did you do differently after each?
I feel like there's this thing at work that they call postmortem, where when something bad happens, like something like that shakes the core of the company, like in terms of like an error or something breaks,
Yeah.
they have like, they write a report, or like they go back to it to see what went wrong, and then they see how they can like mitigate it in the future, or make sure. I think that's how, I think you just looking back at what you contributed to, like whatever caused it to break down, and then actively trying not to get back into those cycles in the next. Just knowing how to incorporate things that I didn't do particularly well in the previous ones, and account for them in the future. I think it makes a lot of difference for you and the person that you're with, just because people, when things don't work out well, people always like to believe that it was external, or it was things that were out of their control, or like, and sometimes it could be, but like I think it's not realistic to believe that you didn't, at least that there's no situation that you didn't have a hand in not working out. And I think knowing that, like really acknowledging that for yourself, and like identifying what you could have done better, it goes a really long way, like in the future. And like, because you notice everyone knows their patterns, like any self-aware person knows their patterns. They know the things that they don't particularly do well.
Right.
And I think it's not going to be an overnight thing, but at least making an effort, it goes a long way in like the future. But yeah. So I try to do that. I try to really do that.
I was going to ask about your going to the gym. How many times did you go this week?
This week, I think I went every day except yesterday. I didn't go yesterday because I played basketball yesterday. But otherwise, I went every day this
How
week.
why do you do that?
I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
Did you start out like with the intention to enjoy it? Like how long have you been going to the gym?
I
For
want to
that
say
long?
like 10 years now, maybe. Yeah, like 10 years.
So average of how many times a week now?
5, 6. 5, 6.
Is there a reason? Like what's
Honestly, I like I said, because I sit, for the most part, I'm sitting for work, right?
okay?
So it's a way to just like move and like take my mind off things, honestly. And it's just, and I actually
So
thoroughly
it's
enjoy
what
it.
self-care?
Honestly, like, if I say it was self-care, to make it seem like I'm actually like trying to do it to better myself, for lack of a better term. But honestly, for me, it's fun. It's like equivalent to like playing video games or like watching anime. Like it's the same feeling I get from it. I actually just enjoy it.
Okay, so outside of visiting the gym and the airport, the other hobbies you have would be
I watch a lot of anime, I watch a lot of TV shows, I play a lot of video games. Yeah. It's very
I said going to the gym is fun. I don't know. I've not moved past that.
I feel like that's one thing. Like it has to. Okay, I shouldn't say, because I'm going to that, for you to really like progress, it has to be fun. But no, it doesn't have to be fun. There are people that don't enjoy it but still go. But enjoying it is a big part of it, and it's not even just the actions themselves, like the progress, the challenge, the plateau breaking, all those kind of things. They're fun. But even outside of that, actually going to, I feel like just the lifts, some of the lifts themselves, they just feel fun, like the burn and stuff. But
So when you
that
start,
is that is specific to people. That is not something that is universal. That's for sure.
so that's specific to you.
No, I know other people that are like that.
You know that people that are like
They
that.
have to. They have to be other people that are like
They
that.
have
No,
to be.
I,
You
I
don't
know.
know.
I know other people like that. I know a few people like that.
Right.
Because it's not just me that goes every day. Now there are people
So-
that I see there all the time. I go,
Yeah,
so-
they might just be struggling.
No, I see they enjoy it too.
They enjoy it. You see that they enjoy
I
it. That's such a
You can
wild
see the kindred
assumption.
spirits. The ones that enjoy it, you can sense it in them. I know the ones that enjoy it too.
So what made you go to the gym first of all?
I think it was when I was playing American football, like a few years ago, like more than a few years ago. But like I was a lot skinny, because I was very skinny like growing up. So like when they would hit me, like I'll fly, and and I was like, oh, maybe I too should like put on some size so that I won't fly as much when they hit me. And then after that, like when I stopped playing, I still just enjoyed going. So it just, because it became so much of a routine for me, and like it felt, when you've been doing it for so long, it feels out of place on the days you don't go.
Right.
So like it just became part of my routine, and like it's something I can't really like. There's just like a time slot that I'm supposed to be at the gym, and if I'm doing anything at that time, it just feels like my day is not full or not productive. But yeah.
No. About if you go back in time, what's something that you would change about your journey?
Honestly, nothing. I don't think. I feel like everything has its place in like where I am. The things that were not favorable were not necessarily things that were in my control, so it's not as if I could change them anyway. But like out of the decisions that I have made, I don't know that there's anything that I would say I would actively change. I mean, maybe I could go back far back enough to buy stocks in some companies that nobody knows. Nobody knew them, and by now I'd have been a millionaire. So there's that. But like in terms of like fundamental decisions or like actual like life decisions, no, not really. I think living with regrets is its own thing, and it's not that deep. Like, I don't think there's anything deep enough that I would want to say that, oh, if I had just done XYZ at this time, my life would look like this. Not really, not really.
What about things that are out of your control?
I mean, mm, even those in themselves, like, again, like, a lot of things shaped who I am. So I don't really say that, okay, it's extreme to that I won't change some things, like losing family members, for example. Like, obviously, if you could change that, you would. But again, those also had the roles they played in, like, me getting where I am and whatnot. So I don't know that I would change them, but, like, again, it's not that it's not that deep. It's not that
What
deep.
good thing came out of that though?
Um, I
Out
feel
of
like
losing a family member?
I feel like I worked harder than I would have. I'm not going to lie. I feel like it gave me something to, yeah, weirdly enough, it gave me something to prove to myself, for lack of a better term. Like, I feel like I would have been a lot more, because I'm generally a lazy person. I I don't do work if I don't have to. If there is another way to get around doing something, I would not do it. So I feel like if I didn't have to earn for myself, I wouldn't have had the drive to. Like, and granted, like, it's a bit it's a bit much nicer if, like, I was in a situation where, like, I didn't have to worry about, like, having to, if I was like if consistently I had a silver spoon in my mouth, like. But, like, I mean, it gave me drive. It gave me something to prove. It gave me, yeah, it kind of lit a fire under me, as much as if I can be lit, because again, I'm still fairly laid back. But, like, yeah, I think that's one thing I tried to tell myself came out of that. But otherwise, yeah.
Otherwise, it'd have just been chill.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
More chill.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You won't apply to Bloomberg and
I
all the
would-
companies.
I mean, maybe I would have, for a different reason, because when I think when my dad was alive, I used to do well, kind of like to make him proud, for lack of a better term,
Right.
because, like, he really used to. I think he was the one that really used to praise me when I did well, like, in secondary school and secondary school and primary school, rather. Like,
Okay.
when I, like, come first, and, like, he'd really. So if anything, maybe that would have been, like, a
Your
motivator to,
motivation.
like.
Okay.
But it's still a different kind of motivator, I guess. But yeah. So maybe, like, it's one or the other.
Makes sense. I think that the next time that we do something like this, maybe we should do it after one of your trips, or maybe we'll meet you at the airport, or maybe at the gym, because I think that's the only two places we can find you.
I mean, I don't do much else. I don't do much else. I make up for the fact that I'm introverted with traveling. Like, I don't,
Fair enough.
because, like, you won't see me outside anyway. Like, yeah, you won't see me outside. If somebody is doing party or something, that's the last place you. If it's not somebody that has explicitly invited me and told me that, or it's someone that I'm very close to and is celebrating something important, if it's just something like vibes, I will send you a message congratulating you, and that would be it. But yeah, no.
Based on that, I shall arrest you, but I'm going to
As how?
I'm going to let that slide off camera. And thank you for joining us today. I appreciate the stories that you shared with us. I feel like there are people that can relate to being as energy efficient as you are.
Energy efficient is very. I like that phrasing.
Yeah. Yeah, there are people that can relate to that. Case in point. Yeah. I hope that you do come back some other time. You'll be open to coming back.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I'll be happy to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
Please,
having me.
if you're watching this, you watched this point, obviously you liked it. So like, share, subscribe, put some comments, let us know what you think. And if you want to see my new anime character again, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. This is Halfa.